Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is a fucking great movie.
Yes! Yes!
But I mean, it shouldn't be much of a surprise. Coming off the last 3 movies in the franchise, which are widely regarded as some of the best action movies of the century, plus the huge success of Top Gun Maverick last year, Tom Cruise just keeps smashing it out of the park when it comes to making spectacular action flicks, and Dead Reckoning is no different. From a movie of this caliber, what you really crave as an audience is just a bunch of great action, suspense, charisma, and stunts from the man himself, as well as going bigger and better than what came before. And oh boy, does this movie do just that. I'm really excited to talk about it anyway, and I'm just fucking pumped with caffeine right now, so let's stop wasting time and just jump straight into the review, shall we? So the movie follows Ethan Hunt and the gang once again, who are out on a new mission to prevent an extremely dangerous AI weapon from getting into the wrong hands, and to do this, they have to get their hands on 2 separate keys, which lock into one another to give the possessor access to worldwide power. But in the process of doing so, they come across Grace, a professional pickpocketer who was hired to retrieve one half of the key from an unknown source, who then joins forces with Ethan and the crew when they realise that this mission is beyond just a simple retrieve. In fact, there's actually a lot more people at play here than our crew realises, some of which are Elena from the previous movie, Eugene Kittredge, who we haven't seen since the first film, and a very powerful man from Ethan's past life called Gabriel, who will stop at nothing to retrieve the 2 keys, no matter what it takes. So first off, this movie did feel somewhat different to the previous movies in terms of the vibe it was going for. There's a lot more suspense this time around, and the stakes felt greater than ever before, given the premise of what our characters actually had to face. The action set pieces and segments of the movie were all pretty long on their own, and in all honesty, I found the first 20 to 30 minutes or so went a bit slow compared to what we've seen before, which had me slightly concerned that, the movie going forward would maintain this kind of pace, especially with such a lengthy runtime. But I'm glad to admit that I was stupid to even presume such a thing, because what came after was a fucking awesome movie, and this firstly comes down to the great action we get to witness. With the constant CGI garbage put out by other studios, Tom Cruise knows that this isn't real cinema, and as usual, he ensures that the film feels as real as possible by exploring real locations and doing the majority of the stunts for real, and it really shines through. Ever since Ghost Protocol, the magnitude of these movies just keeps getting bigger and better with each outing, and this movie takes you on a fucking journey, that's for sure. There's car chases, riding motorcycles off mountains, flying on top of a train, escaping a collapsing train, and all in an effort for the several groups of characters at play to retrieve the keys in order to stop worldwide chaos. There's also great tension with every scene, and with this movie more than any other, you really feel the threats that our characters face, and you never really feel like they're very much safe. As an audience, it keeps you very stressed out in the best way possible, as it always feels like there's someone watching their every move, or that they might not actually make it out of their current situation, all of which is made possible by the incredible set pieces put together, which constantly keep you on the edge of your seat, as well as the great writing and the performances from all the actors on screen. Speaking of the actors, let's talk about the performances, shall we? So the main cast we've seen time and time again are brilliant as always, with Tom Cruise especially always bringing his A-game to every role, Benji bringing his great humour as always, and when it came to the newcomers, I can't go without firstly mentioning Grace, played by Hayley Atwell. She was fantastic for the entire duration, for more reasons than one, playing a very charming but also innocent mind when it comes to the world that she's brought into, as at the end of the day, she was sent out on a simple mission just to retrieve the key, but ends up in a world well beyond what she'd ever thought she'd experience, and it's both very thrilling but terrifying for her. She has to really go out of her comfort zone and face challenges and obstacles just to keep herself alive, and it puts her skills to the test under extreme circumstances. And throughout the whole thing, she comes up as a super likeable character and someone that you can understand the motivations of, rather than some cheap female insert who can suddenly do everything perfectly and, never needs the help of a man. Whoa, a female character that doesn't have a massive ego, and actually isn't capable of doing absolutely everything. Where have you been for the past 7 years? Anyway, she's one of the best parts of this movie, but another was the great and terrifying performance by Ezra Morales as Gabriel. I know that Nicholas Hoult was meant to take the role originally, but Ezra smashes it out of the park, playing the role like he's been doing it all his life, and he stole the screen whenever his big, beautiful face appeared. He's a very interesting man, due not just to the power that he seems to possess, but also due to his ability to easily convince others of his ideas, which pits a lot of enemies against Ethan, and makes his life a lot harder than, just fighting the bad guy. I mean, honestly, the whole cast is spectacular here, and I couldn't have imagined this movie any other way. It's stacked with every kind of character and performance that the movie could handle, and what comes to fruition is just a complete joy to watch. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a few small nitpicks that I have towards this thing, such as how the film takes, a while to really get going, or that the time between when we see a character on screen to the next feels pretty lengthy as to, give all the characters their fair share of screen time. But apart from these, I can't really say anything apart from the fact that Dead Reckoning Part 1 is a fucking awesome movie, and it might just be my favourite movie so far this year. Not that it's got much competition going for it, but still. Anyway, if you haven't seen Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning already, go see it on the biggest screen possible, goddammit, as you've only got till Friday before Oppenheimer takes over, and you don't want to be walking out of the cinema in disappointment when you realise that it's no longer an IMAX, just like the cast of Oppenheimer had to at their own premiere. Anyway, thank you for watching the video, like, subscribe, all that jazz, won't force you though, and I will see you in the next one very soon. Bye.